Bitcoin has been bullish in the last couple of days, and if we're going to come back to this huge resistance on the top side, we can come back to the $60,000. And it could happen today. There are a lot of interesting formations unfolding for Bitcoin, and I will discuss everything with you in this video. I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Ethereum and Dogecoin, but about that later in the video. There's also a lot of interesting data coming into the market for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs, and there's also a lot of interesting news coming in, so I will tell you everything about it in this video. So watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday Bitcoin came back to this huge resistance area on the 4-hour and the daily time frame, and we can see a lot of resistance coming into the market here. And this level is around the $58,000, so this level is the level to break for Bitcoin. And this horizontal level saw a lot of interesting touch points in the past. We can see a lot of resistance and support is coming into this horizontal level, and yet we are seeing once again another touch points of this level. So either way, we could see a break of this level, retest as a resistance as support, and then come further back up, and this of course will be the bullish scenario. But we could also see a bear scenario that we're going to see a rejection from this point. So of course this is not what we want to see, and I think Bitcoin is looking a little bit more bullish in the last days. So let's see if Bitcoin can break through and create more bullish topside. And this of course will be very bullish for Bitcoin. And if we then have a look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin earlier this week broke this resistance line bullish, and we could see a lot of touch points here as resistance, and this downward sloping resistance line was eventually broken to the top side. We saw a very bullish retest, so the previous resistance was getting turned into support, and from this support we saw a nice bounce already to the top side. So this is looking very bullish. So let's see if Bitcoin can see a continuation of this bullish uptrend, because we saw lower highs and now we are creating a higher high. So this is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish, and let's see if Bitcoin can possibly create a new higher low and again a higher high, and this would indicate a huge trend reversal on the 4-hour time frame, and this could also be the start of a huge trend reversal on the higher time frame. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had a bullish day again. We saw a total inflow of 39 million again, so this is looking very bullish. And we can see the BlackRock ETF didn't buy or sell anything. So eventually I think that BlackRock's always going to buy in heavily, and eventually they will buy more and more, because they are already buying for almost 20 billion, and that is insane of course. But also we saw Grayscale selling for almost 20 billion. So that is yeah, those two are evening themselves out. And the other Bitcoin ETFs need to step into the market, because we want to see more bullish top side of course for Bitcoin. And that we can see a lot of spikes in the past to the top side. So we also already saw 3 spikes to the top side. So let's see if Bitcoin can create another spike to the top side, and eventually we want to see this $20 billion mark getting hit, and this total cumulative inflow will reach new all-time highs very soon if we see more inflows in the Bitcoin ETF. And as I'm always discussing this chart with you with these horizontal levels, a lot of resistance and support is coming into the market, and currently we are back at this huge resistance around the $58,000 after we saw a beautiful break of this first big resistance of the $56,000. We retested this previous resistance as support, as we can see here, and we saw a nice bounce from the support. And now we're coming back to the next big resistance. So this resistance around the $58,000 is the first big resistance for Bitcoin to break. And we could also potentially see a break later today, and that of course will be very bullish. And if we're breaking this big first horizontal level, then the big first resistance after will be around the $61,000. So if we're going to see a break of this horizontal level, Bitcoin could potentially go to see levels around the $60 again. So this could of course happen today, but also happen in the coming days. So let me know in the comments if you think if we're going to see a break of this huge horizontal level today, or if Bitcoin is going to see a rejection from this level and that we're coming all the way back to the $56,000. And yesterday there was also a lot of interesting news coming into the market. BlackRock is saying that Bitcoin could be a hedge against increasing global disorder and declining trust in governments, banks and fiat currencies. So of course this is a very big quote from the biggest asset manager in the world, from BlackRock. So this is looking very bullish, and those institutions are very bullish on Bitcoin. So I believe that Bitcoin will have a lot of interesting months coming, and we're going to see Bitcoin going to new highs in the coming months, I believe. And also Trump was saying yesterday, we're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated banks, big banks behind us. And this is of course also very bullish. So if Trump is going to become president in November, I believe that Bitcoin will pump to new all-time highs because I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk will pump up the price of Bitcoin because they have a lot of big plans for Bitcoin. There will be the first big pro-Bitcoin presidency in the United States of America in the history ever. So this is looking very bullish. And if we have a look on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we can see this huge formations is unfolding, and we can see this price is getting squeezed into this apex. We can see a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and on the lower side as support. So eventually we are now in this big downtrend, but I think that Bitcoin could potentially break out, see more upside formations here, and then we will see a big trend reversal for Bitcoin happening. And if we're going to break out of this huge formation, the first big target for Bitcoin will be the top side of this formation, and that will be around the $68,000 or $69,000. So first we need to come back to this huge topside resistance, and if we do so, then Bitcoin will come back to the $60,000 as I was saying. So let's see if Bitcoin can come back to this huge topside resistance and force a break to the top side, retest the previous resistance as support, and from there we could potentially aim for higher targets and see a big trend reversal for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. But of course we could potentially also fall back to this lower side support again. But I think after this beautiful touch and this bounce on this lower side support, Bitcoin is now searching for a way to the top side again. And we are also seeing this chart with lower highs. So eventually we want to gain this first previous high and create a higher high. And this will indicate the big trend reversal for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. We can also see Ethereum on this daily chart with many horizontal levels. And earlier this week we saw a big bounce from this lower side support region. And this was a very interesting place to accumulate more ETH. And of course we are also seeing this big resistance is coming into play. And currently we are retesting this previous support as resistance. So this is looking a little bit like a bearish retest. So let's see if Ethereum can possibly gain this level again, create a more bullish price action, and retest it as support again, and then from there we could potentially also see a trend reversal for Ethereum happening. And then the first big resistance will be around this level, and we can see a lot of touch points here in the past occurring as support and resistance, and that will be around $2,900. So for now we are at these lower side stages, and we can see a potentially double bottom. So of course we want to see more bullish price action for Ethereum. But the Ethereum ETFs again yesterday had a very bearish day, and we saw an outflow of $20 million because the other Ethereum ETFs were not buying or selling, and Grayscale was dumping their Ethereum onto the market. So this was having a bearish effect on the price of Ethereum yesterday. And I think if the other Ethereum ETFs are finally going to buy more Ethereum, then we will see a lot of bullish price action for Ethereum in the coming days and months. And if we have a look on the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum, we can see Ethereum is currently at this huge horizontal level of support, and we also can see this huge downward sloping resistance line with multiple touch points on the top side as a resistance. And finally we will see a break of this formation because this price is getting squeezed into this apex in this huge downtrend. And eventually I think Ethereum will see a break to the top side, retest the previous resistance as support, and from there we can enter the market to maybe aim for a long or just spot buy order, and from there we can aim for a trend reversal for Ethereum. And then the top side of this formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the 3.5k. So let's see if Ethereum can see a bullish break in the coming days. And another very interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Dogecoin. We can see that Dogecoin is currently in this huge falling wedge formation to the downside. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and also a lot of touch points on the lower side as support. And also this horizontal level is coming into play, and we saw a beautiful bounce 3 times already. So this is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. So we are seeing a separation of this level for Doge. So let's see if Doge can come back to this huge resistance area, break it bullish to the top side, retest the previous resistance as support, and from there we can aim for higher targets. And of course then also the top side of this formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the 20 cents. And we can also see a lot of resistance and support coming into the market at this place. So this could also be a very interesting take profit place, especially if you bought at these lower side regions. So let me know in the comments if you still hold Dogecoin in your portfolio and what you think about Doge in the coming days. Because personally, I think we will see a huge break of this formation, of this falling wedge formation to the top side, because this falling wedge formation is a typical bullish bias pattern, and we will see a huge break of this price squeeze eventually in the coming days. Like the video if you think this video was useful, follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.